Hello and welcome everyone to part 3 of the Laravel Orion series. This is Satah here, and just a quick reminder, if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, I'm uploading videos on daily basis now, and it would be really great that you subscribe to my channel, and you're going to get some quite some valuable content in coming days. Basically, Laravel Orion is what we were covering, and what we have covered so far is only the simple GET requests. So it's localhost API posts, and you're going to see all the posts here. And in the last video, we also looked at a single post, and we could actually see it in the browser. And for the purpose of this video, what I've done is, I think we're going to use, because we don't have a UI right now, we don't have a form which is going to use a UI to use some fields to update or add the data. And this is going to, I think, because this is going to be a little off the focus of this video, so we are, for the purpose of this demo, we are only going to use Postman. And in this particular video, we're going to cover post, patch, delete, and even update. And even batch, batch requests. So basically, if you come to the documentation, you'll see a section on batch operations, and we'll see how to update, how to add some posts in form of a batch, how to update them, how to delete them, how to even restore them. Sometimes it can be difficult for, most of the times we don't do any batch endpoints, so it might be a little difficult for you to visualize any use cases. But for example, you can go to you can have a particular list of posts, and you could actually select maybe 5 posts, and you might want to batch delete them, and all you have to do is provide the IDs, but we'll come to this part later, and we'll discuss this in detail. You might want to add or update multiple posts together as well, and that is something where this can come really handy. So what we're going to do is, to start with, we're going to add a collection which I've created already, and that is Orion posts. So the new request, we are going to do all posts, and we're not going to set up any environment or anything. We are because this is something fairly simple and straightforward. So what we're going to do is, we're going to set to fetch all posts, we're going to send a GET request to /posts. And as you can see, just like in the browser, we can see a list of all the posts, paginated and everything. So on every single page, it's just going to be 15, and then the rest of them are going to be on page 2. Then for the second one, we're going to duplicate the same, and duplication comes in quite handy. It saves a bit of time typing all of that. And let's say single post. So we are getting a single post, and we can give the ID of one of the posts, and let's say post 15, and we can get it. And just like in the browser, as before, we can see it here. Now let's duplicate it once again, and let's try this time around. Let's try a post request. So add post. You can name it as you want. This is something that's not really very strict. But it's going to be a post request, and it's going to be on the post endpoint. And what we're going to do is, we are going to go to headers, and we're going to say accept, and we're going to say application JSON. And this is quite important, because if you don't do that, you're not going to be able to send a request. Then it's like, if you go to body, what we're going to do is, because we had if we look at because we changed the original one, this was changed to copy. So now all posts, single post, and add post. So add post, we're going to use the same endpoint, and what we're going to do now is, we are going to add the title. Title, content, and featured image. So it's going to be title. So title and okay, so let's just say a new post and very trite, but yeah, okay, new post, and then we go to content and we can say new post content and then featured content. Okay, by the way, sometimes if you need something like this, you can go to lorem ipsum. You can search for lorem ipsum and you'll go to loremipsum.com. You can go there directly, and you might as well copy some text from here, and you might as well want to add it here. Okay, so let's just maybe do this much. Okay, and I'm sorry, this was featured image Monday mornings. Okay, and if we go to the post factory, we should copy this maybe. Okay, copy, and let's just paste here, and let's give a random number here. Let's give 3, and so we have all 3: title, content, and featured image. ID and created at, updated at is obviously going to be added automatically, and we send a post request. Okay, now this is interesting. Now normally when you're not working with Orion, you don't need to add title, content, or featured image in unless you're using a patch request for them. You don't need to add them in must fillable property. But for this, you'll need to go to, and this is going to also come in handy in your later patch operations and stuff. So what you're going to do is you're going to add protected fillable. Yeah, okay, so yeah, we are calling it content, and you can also add featured image. So now this looks nice. What we can do is we can do another send request, and as you can see, this is updated. And it's also returning the ID. So if you go to the database, you'll see that the new post with the lorem ipsum text that we provided and the image that we provided, this is there. So remember, all you had to do was we added this line now, and there was just this line in the post controller. We were just extending the Orion controller, and that is taking care of everything. All right, that is taking care of everything. We're not doing anything. We're not writing any post code. We are not any store code, any update code, nothing like that. And it's just working out of the box, and this is amazing. So moving on, what we're going to do is I think we should try duplicate this and let's change it to let's change it to post update, and because we already have everything, let's change it to put and post update where put, and since put actually requires us to provide the particular post that we are working with, so let's just do a 21, and because in body we already have the content, so new post update, so let's say updated, let's put it in the beginning so that we can see it, where we can easily see it. Okay, and featured images here, so let's just change it to 7, let's say, and let's send an update request. Okay, and this is returning the updated object, and also it's updated in the database. So as you can see, updated, update, and updated at is also changed. So 533. 10:33. Yeah, these are basically different time zones. So what we are doing here is we've covered fetch all posts, single posts, fetching single posts, then adding a post and updating a post. And now, say if you don't want to update all of these and you want to update just one of them, what you can do is obviously you can use the patch option, and let's say post patch. Sounds crazy, like post patch. All right, so post patch, and now in post patch what we're going to do is we are not going to change the title or the featured image. We're only going to change the content, and patched is what we can write in the beginning, so we know that it's done. So so you do that, and so you only send the content across, and it's returning you patched. And if you come to the database, you'll see that it has been patched. So so now, for instance, if you go back to the single post and you try and fetch post 21, this is going to give you the new data object, which is going to contain a single post. So these are basically the individual operations that we are used to with the regular CRUD that we make. So you can actually do post, you can actually get patch, delete. Oh yeah, we didn't cover delete. So let's just duplicate it once more, and let's just do a delete. And a delete is going to be, now we're going to get rid of we don't need to send anything in the body or anything, and we're just going to get rid of the post 21. So let's make sure it still exists, still alive and kicking, and let's just send a delete request, and that's going to get rid of it. And this is again, it is still returning us the object that is deleted, and that is one practice that I follow with normal with the regular Laravel API resource way as well. So after deletion, I tend to return the deleted endpoint. So for example, you can show somewhere in your front end saying, okay, new post update deleted, something like that. I mean, you can use the data that is returned instead of just returning null, which is something that a lot of people do, but I personally think that's not really a very good practice. Depends on your use case, really. So we have covered about quite a few of these. Single post copy. Did we change anything? Post. Get, yeah. Okay. This is basically getting single posts. Okay. So I think we are good here. We're bringing in all posts. Okay, we are getting a single post. Okay, no query result because it no longer exists, so we can do 20 maybe. All right, and then we can, in terms of deletion, we've already seen that in action. If you want to add something, you can very well add another one now, and that's going to get an ID of 22. If you want to update it or update any one of these, then that's also going to work. All right, so I think that's understandable. We should not use any further of our time on this, and let's move on. So now that brings us to the batch operations. And going through batch operations, what we're going to do is we're going to have a look, and the endpoint, remember, this is not just posts, because you can think that it's going to work right away, and that's not the case. It's going to be post/batch. So we are going to do add request, and I'm going to say batch add. Okay, and let's just do let's just take this endpoint. Okay, and let's do batch. All right, and for batch, what we're going to do is we are still going to go to the header section, and we're going to do, we're going to do an application, accept application JSON. We're going to add that header, and then we're going to go to body, and we're going to go to raw, and in raw we're going to select JSON, and in JSON let's just copy this for now. Okay, here you go. And because we're using content, let's just simply replace it with content and content. And since we also have the featured image, so let's just do it for one and let's copy it to the next featured image. And again, coming back to the post factory, let's just copy this and again in double quotes paste it here, and let's say 5, and okay, remember not to add a comma in the end because this is going to complain right away, and this is not expected. Okay, so for this let's use a different one, and it's not unique anyways. We haven't added any validations, so for right now we can get away with this. And if you go to, this is of course going to be a post request, so post to post batch, and now you want to basically add 2 posts. All right, 2 posts together. So now this is basically batch add, and if you send a post request, you'll see that ID 23 and 24, my post 1 and 2, these are automatically added. So basically these extra batch endpoints, these are basically the cherry on cake for Orion. Orion actually gives you these extra options to kind of batch update, batch add, and batch delete posts. It also comes with some search and filter endpoints, which we are going to cover in later videos. But the batch itself, you see the real value behind Orion. They were just adding a few lines of code. You can do all of this. So batch add, and let's just copy the same and duplicate the same, and let's just try because I think batch patch. Okay, so let's just try the batch patch, and quite rhyming, right? Batch patch, and the batch patch is interestingly, this is expecting not an array, but it's expecting an object. So what we're going to do is we're going to replace it with an object, and I think we should be good. Looks like we're not, so let's just see as to what. Okay, yes, we have to actually provide the IDs that we are hoping to update. So let's just do it this way. So instead of this, let's say 23, we have the last 2 we have are 23 and 24. Okay, 23 and 24 we want to change in this way. Okay, 23 and 24. So now no more complaints, and we want to change these, and let's say we want to say okay, my post 1 updated. We're going to try update first because the put method first, because that is the closest cousin of add. So that's taking everything that is required in add. So that's going to make our life a little easier, and it's going to make things a little quicker. So let's just say title, content, feature, image, everything is in place, and let's send a put request. Okay, no query result for app model post. Which one is it not? Let's just do a refresh, and it's 23, 24, 23. Alright, I think we might as well need to, yeah, no, it's the same endpoint. and what we're doing here is all right. Okay. Let's just quickly see what we're missing here. Let's just copy this straight off. Okay, and let's just send this to content. Okay, and let's add the featured images. Okay, let's just pick the whole line. Okay, and now let's try and update the post 5 and 6. Let's see how it works. Okay, no query results for app model post. What's going on here? So since we are updating parts of the post, and even otherwise, if you want to update all or any of them, then they are using, for update and patch both, they are using patch, and which actually does the trick. If you include any one of these, anyone or all of these, this is still going to work. Okay, updated. And if you, for example, don't want to provide a featured image here, this should in practice still work. The resources field is required. Okay, yeah, okay, all right. So what we're doing wrong here is we have a comma here, and let's just send the request again. So basically, if you don't provide any of these posts, it's still going to work. If you don't want to update the content, you only want to update the title and the featured image, you can still do that. Okay, you can still do that. There's nothing wrong with that. So basically, if you go now to the database, you're going to see that post 5 and 6 have been updated with the new content. So now this is basically this is post batch add and batch patch, and let's just call it /update. So for both update and patch, this is how this is going to work. So what you're going to do is you're just going to send a patch request, and you can include all of them to update it completely, and you can send just one of them, just one or two or any of them to kind of patch the data and just update some parts of it. So coming to batch delete, it's still the same endpoint, the patch endpoint, and all you need to do is you're going to add, now we have done the 5 and 6, so in just like an example, so let's just do 5 and 6 here as well. And if you do duplicate, and we are going to have to get rid of this in body and change it to none maybe. Okay, and now we want to send a delete request. So let's see if yeah, okay, sorry, we are not going to change it to none. We're still going to have this JSON, whereby we're going to specify which particular posts we are going to add, we're going to delete, we're going to get rid of, and this is batch delete. So now this again coming to what we were discussing in the beginning of the video. What we were doing was this is the scenario that I was talking about. You have a list of posts and you want to delete all of them. So just click on them, maybe like for example in the Vue frontend, React frontend, you're just setting even in the Laravel frontend, you just select them, and then you just provide the IDs that you want to delete to a post array, to a resources array, and all you have to do is then send that across to the delete using the delete method to the post's batch endpoint, and you're good. So right now we're deleting 5 and 6, so it has returned us the object. That means that is also successful, and as you can see, post 5 and 6 are no longer there. So as you can see with Orion, emphasizing again that with just a few lines of code you get a lot of stuff out of the box. If you count them now, it's like 3, 6 and 9. So we've actually done 9 operations without writing a single line of code, and we have done everything according to everything that was desired in a CRUD operation, and actually more. So we've got more than what we hoped for. Batch restore again is going to work in the same way as batch delete. I think for this we might as well need soft delete, but let's just give it a try. I think we're going to have to implement soft delete for this, but let's see if it works just like that. So let's just duplicate, okay, and batch restore. Okay, and it's the same. And resources 5 and 6. Now we want to restore them, right? What we can do is we can change the model to support soft delete, and we can then kind of try and restore this, and this is going to be obviously restored. But they do have a dedicated endpoint for this, and as you can see, sorry, I was sending a delete request. We need to make it post. Even if you send a post request, that's not going to help because the posts are already gone. Okay, and so this was basically an overview of what we could hope to achieve with Orion, and I think this is a lot of value packed in just one line. There is one more thing before we go. We need to cover this, and that is going to API. If for any reason you want to disable if you want to disable batch store, batch update, you need to do a regular except call, which is something you might as well be, if you've done with advanced APIs, you might as well have been used to this. So what you can do is you can simply do an except, and you can exclude the batch store and batch update, and that's no longer going to work. So I think that's pretty much it. You can also use a without batch option. So the documentation is really detailed. It's one of the most detailed documentations and one of the most organized documentations in Laravel packages. And I think this is something that you are going to really enjoy working with. See you till next time in the next video, where we're going to figure out how we can make search and filters work with Laravel Orion. Thank you.